Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Andor review, season 2, episodes 1 to 3. I'm the turn down for Montress Snail, and I'm joined by. You like that one,
I'm
didn't
the.
you? It took a second.
I
Didn't get
like
it?
that one.
Yeah.
I like that one. I am the test pilot, Kirkland Patzer.
I am the OSX Knight, Taylor Field.
Yeah, okay. I that took a second there, but yeah, it's funny when I was pulling this up on IMDb because I was looking for some acting stuff and just some other info. I saw it's a 2022 to 2025 because obviously this is the last season, just two, 1, 2 done. Wham bam, thank
Sad.
you, ma'am. But it's just like it is sad, but also just like usually I feel like these last few reviews, it's been like a year and a half or 2 years. In fact, this is 3 years. It's been a moment. It's to the moment where I watched episode 1. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go watch a quick recap on YouTube because I usually try to rewatch shows.
I
and
did the same. I
yeah,
did the same.
yeah, because I usually try to rewatch shows now because when I work at home I got a little more time, and I kind of just forgot Andor was this week, so it just came up on me. I'm like, oh well, I know enough, and there's lots going on in the show, and we're gonna break it all down here tonight. So I'll start with I think I just call him Mr. Star Wars. I think we're all big Star Wars fans, but I think I'll give Taylor Mr. Star Wars. He knows clone numbers and animals, and I don't know Qui-Gon Jinn's middle name. So, what
It's
did
gone,
you think?
Chiz.
What? It was Qui-Gon Jinn's middle name, Taylor.
Gone.
Yeah.
First name Qui, middle name Gone.
Last name. Actually, no. I think Qui-Gon's his first name. It's like a Mary Kate.
Yes,
Right?
you're right. That is.
So, what's his middle name?
I could not tell you. I don't know.
It's Jackson. Anyway, so Andor season 2. Yeah.
You pulling my
Qui-Gon.
leg right now?
He's pulling
Qui-Gon
your
Jackson. No, Qui-Gon. No, Qui-Gon Jackson Jinn. Read Bloodlines. They're talking about great Jedi's. Anyways, Taylor.
I don't want to
Andor,
believe
season
you,
2.
but I kind of believe you now. You're
Andor season 2. Obviously, we're going to get into spoilers, but non spoilers first. We'll take an ad break and tell you what's going on at GeekVerse after the fact. But what are you feeling so far about Andor being back?
Oh boy, this is just—it's just such a delight. The way that the show is shot, certain aspects and certain moments, it's really, really good, and you just get to see the way that first episode starts, the first 5 minutes. It's a perspective, and it's a beautiful shot of just something you don't get to see in the other parts of Star Wars. While the other parts of Star Wars definitely have some beautiful shots and beautiful moments in its own way, it's just a very different aesthetic that you get in the show, and it's such a treat. It's really, really, really nice, and it's just such a simple quality of life building component to just the Star Wars universe that I can really appreciate and respect. And it's been said many a time before, and I think you guys have said it in your own way, and I'm just going to reiterate it now. Just how can you have the writing in this show and the way this show is, and you can have the same kind of thing in other Star Wars movies where it's like dark magic, secrets only the Sith knew, like somehow Palpatine's return, and then they fly now. Yeah, they fly now. Like those lines
Great line.
are in the same universe as the dialogue you get in here, and it's something else. It really is something else, but at its core,
else.
it's something else.
That'll do it.
That's something else.
At its core, when you watch those old Star Wars movies and you're looking at, you see like 50 stormtroopers, that's not much of a worry. You see like a bunch of TIE fighters, like, no, our heroes will handle it, yada, 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 so forth. Now, we know the outcome of most of these characters, but I will say Andor does such a great job where one Imperial officer feels like it's the end of the world. It's a nightmare, and you feel so tense, and holy shit, just there's definitely with causation and reason behind certain actions that you see in these episodes. One in particular where it's just really, really crazy that they were going there, because we've never really seen that in Star Wars before. But it fits with how some of these egotistical maniacs are going to operate. But yeah, it's just crazy to see where all of this good writing can really take us with this universe into such a dark place. It's not always that happy hunky dory side of Star Wars, which not all Star Wars is happy hunky dory, but I'm just going to end up repeating myself again and again. I'm happy with the writing. I'm happy with the cinematography. I'm happy with the narrative of where we're going so far. And I think these first 3 episodes are really, really they're setting the stage, and I'm excited to see where we're going to go. You feel really, really hopeless, and you feel stressed out as things are trying to unfold here, and they're not trying to force you to laugh or anything, but you can chuckle at just the stressful, tense-filled situations of just of things that are unfolding here. So I think it's great. This is awesome, and I'm super stoked to see this before Revenge of the Sith this weekend.
Well, you already saw it.
Already saw Revenge of the Sith?
No, you said you're stoked to see this. Made it sound like you're still going to see this. Also, why the fuck did this guy get our background picture? Why did Krell out of all the guys? So is it Taylor called?
Cyril?
Can't change
No.
it now.
Cyril?
It wasn't
Krell?
me. It wasn't me.
I don't know.
You
about
make the
that.
room, you make the background, people.
That's
That's
fair.
the rules.
Just-
It says
Kirkland
Andor
just-
in there in Star Wars. Come
Yeah,
on.
it's true. Kirkland just searched up what character looks like me. He did like a picture finder, and then Serial came up.
I just searched
But-
Andor, and that was the first image.
It was?
No, not at all. I did
Yeah, you
Andor
fucking
serial
lie.
specifically wallpaper
Yeah.
that I can use for my podcast tonight. That was my Google search.
I'm gonna go next because usually I go last when I intro a show, but I'm gonna go just because to jump off something Taylor said, where I know you're like, oh, the I fly now, or they fly now, and somehow they returned. Like, how do we get from that to that? It's because this is a very specific slice of Star Wars, and I do think like I'm of a few minds when it comes to Andor, and it's interesting because I think with the quality of this show, there's two things. One, I can see the same way that I have isms that I don't like in Star Wars, I can see with this, whether it's music choices, whether there's a very dramatic thing that happens at the end. That's, like you said, Taylor, someone who've never gone to Star Wars and it crosses a line. Not saying for me, I'm just saying for others. I think there's many people that do look at this and this is not their Star Wars. This is not what they would want. And I think there's part of me that goes, oh, like, as much as I love this show, I don't think everything from what Star Wars is with that George Lucas trilogy to this, I don't think that could be for everyone. If you were to say, okay, going forward, this is the Star Wars, all the movies, all the shows are going to be this serious, this heavy, tackling some very mature conversations and topics. I don't think they could do that. Now, I think I said that a couple years ago. I'm still of the mindset, I don't know if they can, but if you were to ask me what I would do if there's a fucking monkey paw, that would probably be my wish, because I'd rather Star Wars just go in a more mature adult and cut off maybe some audience members to be this good versus kind of the stuff we've been getting, I'd say Rise and Skywalker and all, Rise of Skywalker, not Rise and Skywalker, Rise of Skywalker and on, because it's very, I'm not going to say a 50-50 track record. It's been a losing track record since then. And it's so good to have something of this quality. And also the other reason is most scoopers say your boy doesn't like this type of Star Wars, so that's why they cut it. So that's another reason why every time you want to talk about Filoni, the word is he hates this fucking Star Wars. And I get it to a point, especially this one. There were moments where I was like, wow, I'm surprised they're introducing this type of stuff into Star Wars. So when you got the main guy, which, God, this is why I really hope Filoni does not get the job, because the rumor is Kathy is stepping down in August. I really hope he doesn't, because this was planned to be multiple seasons. So yeah, I don't have a Filoni one. I just say let's
start
cut
working
it.
on it if he's gonna be in the chair.
It doesn't have Ahsoka in it, So that's my thing where I
Adjust your
He-
hat.
he
too.
would
You gotta
put
do like
Ahsoka
a
in
hat
it.
adjustment.
yeah, he
Wearing a
would
hat.
put Ahsoka. And there's, that music scene. Oh, Ahsoka will be ripping it up. But my thing is, where I am at this point, I would love if every Star Wars was like this, because at least I know it's quality. To the biggest thing of today, when I saw, I don't know if it was Disney or Star Wars, they tweeted a picture, and it's the classic like floating heads picture, right? It's a cool Star Wars background, and there's like 20 characters on it. But much to the difference of many posters that do that, and even Rogue One, the movie, which I'm not the biggest fan of, I look at that poster, and about 80 to 85% of those characters have fleshed out stories, and I know exactly what's going on or kind of the vicinity they're in, right? Where how many Marvel, DC, Star Wars stuff do we get floating posters? It's like, this person means dick all to the story. Really, they just look cool, or they're a side character, right? Like, even coming up with Thunderbolts, not to bring it down, but it's just like, and I love the character Ghost, but it's like, they've only been in one project. I don't know what Ghost is, right? But fucking like Serial, I know everything, and I just say his name is a meme because it's season 1, but I know from season 1, and the second we get back to him, like, oh, I know exactly how this character works. Also, we're gonna get some new additions and new ventures for the characters, like we did. And this other thing, like same thing, like what happens with that character in episode 3. I guarantee there's tons of people like, I don't want this in Star. Like, I don't care. I'll spoil it. It's like a guy dealing with anxiety with his mother, and some I wouldn't want that in Star Wars. Like, where's the lightsaber? Where's the Force? And I do get that why this is probably not as mainstream as it could be, but man, to me, it's just like a refresher of what Star Wars needs, and that's the biggest thing. Where I know know all these characters' motivations. Like I said, I did watch a recap because there's some specifics where I'm like, okay, I either need to know who that person's in relation to or just exactly where we left off. And no, this is another great 3 episodes. I'm not sure where, because we're talking about the Mike in the Discord. I'm not sure where it ranks arc wise. It's just all great. I have like kind of a ranking of the certain arcs that I prefer more than the others, but none of them are bad. None of them feel like they take too long. Not sure how I feel still about the 3 episodes, but tonight was still fun. Like, yeah, like they said, it is kind of like a mini Star Wars. Well, it's not a mini Star Wars movie. It's like you got a Star Wars movie. You got, I don't know, Andor, the hostage dance, I don't know, cornfield plan. I don't know. They can make a movie of it. Ask ChatGPT and they'll do something. But no, thought it was fantastic. Just again, looks beautiful. I do understand. There's stuff that usually maybe there'd be music where I go, I don't even know. But they just make this portion of the world work so well. Everything just feels palpable, which that's something where it's like if there's something in Star Wars and it's not well rounded and then you introduce new things, it doesn't always work. Where this world is just, I don't want to say perfect, but it knows exactly what it is. And it's just like dripping in character development, dripping in story. You really have to watch and pay attention to the things going on. And that's not like a bad thing. I'm gripped by saying, okay, what's going to be next? Like I can just like a wedding like that. If I'm getting intense, I'm saying like, oh my God, what's going to happen here? It's just a fucking wedding, not like a red wedding situation where there's a hostage situation or a battle. It's just, oh man, there's something going on and there's a lot of politics here. And which way is it going to fall down? No, just brilliant stuff. I'll be very sad when this show's end. You're gonna enjoy the ride, and I'll be very happy for these two. And I hope again this thing gets critically reviewed well. I hope there's somebody that does, whoever takes over, hopefully not Filoni, whoever does take over Star Wars decides, hey, we do need all one of these things. I get it to not say, hey, not all, like when they do the the guy who directed Free Guy and Deadpool Wolverine, he ain't making a movie like this with Ryan Gosling, right? And that's fine. I just hope there's always at least a sliver in the Star Wars universe for something like this, and Andor isn't the end of it. I'm not saying like Andor season 3 or Luthen or anything, just something like, hey, what we do with Andor, let's do this somewhere else, because everything's just top notch and it just feels like a matured Star Wars, but not too like edgelordy or anything. So Mr. Patzer, where are you on the Return of Andor?
Yeah, the Return of Andor. Yeah, this show for me is just peak Star Wars. I don't think it's my favorite like type of story in the Star Wars universe because you know I still got my Old Republic, what's now Star Wars Legends tales. My headcanon is still holding on to those ties, the Darth Banes of the world and such. That will forever just be what I like, just love the most. But I feel like I can make an argument that this is honestly the best like story of like just the way it's told in the Star Wars, pretty much with everything. Like going back to the originals, I don't think it makes it there just with like the stuff that it covers there, but definitely in the Disney realm. I don't know, I've seen episode 7 so many times now that it kind of gets just bundled together that like maybe recency bias really like skews it, but definitely everything after that, this project is just like I think it's just miles better than like what we've gotten literally since episode 7. I haven't seen every Star Wars project, so maybe somebody can make some counter arguments there, but Star Wars is just, they have this obsession with the dark times, and we always talk about it because that's just the projects that they greenlight, is stuff that's in that
People
era
know this
for the most part. Yeah, exactly. It's something that they know. I think this is the best telling of the dark times, especially in just a more modern, more mature sense. Like, of course, you have that in the original trilogy. Well, everything in Star Wars is mostly dark times, so we don't have a lack thereof dark time storytelling. But I think that just the way that this is executed with the characters, with the actors, with the writing, just with everything, it's just so peak. Like I almost forget that this is like a Star Wars world, and then I see the Star Wars isms, and I'm like, man, like they're doing such a good job at not making it feel like I'm on like Earth, even though there's things that would remind me of an Earth like biome. But they have like so much like Star Wars tech and everything, and like the Star Wars just gloss over it is just so good, and they're not like leaning on like they're not using just like the classic Star Wars, like let's throw in a Force user and a lightsaber and that's just gonna get people talking about our show. Like they're not using those crutches that's like a standard Star Wars thing to like, well, our show's shit, but Obi-Wan was in it, and he faced off against Anakin, and so like things like that, where they just know they'll get buzz and talking about it, and people will talk about that one moment more so than the whole show. I think just from like especially these first 3 episodes, just like peak across the board. There's some minor things that I can like really nitpick, but I am just so fucking hyped that we're back in Andor season 2. I'm sad that it's coming to an end, but as you're like, I'm just gonna try and enjoy the ride because this is just this is so gripping to me. I'm I made a joke off cast that like I was sad I had to stop watching Dexter because I'm doing a rewatch of that right now because that's just peak right now with where I'm at in that show. I'm loving it. And then jump into here and I'm like, fuck, this is just peak now. I'm absolutely digging this. I was sad it ended after 3 episodes. I could have kept going, even though it is already a little bit late in the evening. But no, I'm fucking loving this. Just like building on tension, and there's so much intensity to, like, spoiler free wise, Travis, you kind of brought up a wedding sequence, which is like kind of uplifting, but there's still just so much like tension in the air in those moments. And yeah, I think
It's uplifting.
what's her name?
I'm excited to get to talk to them about that.
Genevieve O'Reilly. I think
for me,
she's
the best part of the
MVP.
show.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's the MVP for me so far in the season, probably the whole show. Like I think she has the most range in these first 3 episodes, especially with how the 3rd episode ended. But yeah, no, she's absolutely fantastic, and I mean everyone else is just fantastic too. Like Diego Luna is just such I absolutely love him as the lead. He just fits the Star Wars world so well. Stellan's fantastic. Like everyone is so good. So yeah, I think I'll just stop there because I just want to get in and unpack these 3 episodes. But highly, highly, highly recommend everybody go watch this show. If people say they're done with Star Wars, go watch Andor. It is so different. Like it's different, but still same in Star Wars because it doesn't deviate because it still feels Star Warsy, but it feels different than just we know our heroes are always going to make it out because that's just that's a good family adventure type show that I feel like a lot of Star Wars content kind of goes to, but this just feels really gritty and mature. And Travis already said like it's not for everyone. That's absolutely true, but this is 100% for me. I'm fucking loving this show. So yeah, I'll pass it along.
Yeah, it's like not that with Genevieve O'Reilly. It's not that she's been working since 2001. She's been in 48 projects, but I just kind of hope after Andor she's in a bunch of stuff. And I don't even mean like get in the MCU or something. I just want to see her. I guess she did a voice in Overwatch too, and I kind of forgot I completely forgot she was in Ahsoka. I did not remember that.
You forgot the council meeting scene, yeah.
Yeah, I completely forgot she was in Ahsoka.
Which she'll probably be coming back for Ahsoka season 2. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, and that just shows the quality of writing between Dave Filoni and like Tony Gilroy, where I don't even remember her in Ahsoka. Where in Andor, it's like, my God, she like give this fucking woman Emmy. But yeah, it's probably because she's the most due. But yeah, I just want to see her in a bunch of like fucking Yorgo, somebody, Ari Aster, like somebody just get her and start cycling her in these A24 Neon movies we review because she's just so damn good. And I remember loving
a
her.
Hideo project, get her in like a
yeah,
a
she'd be
Death Stranding
perfect
type
for
situation.
DS2 or DS3 or whatever she'd be perfect. We just need him to see Andor, and then every time he becomes obsessed with an actress, Hideo just like retweets like 30 things about her. Like when he discover Margaret Qualley, it's like, oh my God, who's this? So yeah, we need to get Genevieve O'Reilly on his watch list, but or I won't say watch list. That sounds
His
terrible.
watch list.
To watch list. There you go. Star to watch there. But she's great. So yeah, let's talk about spoilers. So we will be right back after this ad break. And we are back. So as usual, if you didn't want to listen to ad break, you can head over to Patreon. I think it's /GeekVerse.com to get this episode and every episode we do ad free. We got lots of stuff coming this week. We got this. We got Side Quest and Weekly Geek with Taylor and Dylan. We got After 9, which is going to be happening. Really, I was wondering. That's weird. I thought you'd be playing this. We got After 9 coming this Saturday, 12 p.m. PST. We're gonna be watching Top Secret with our patrons. So if you want to join Patreon of the Phase 2 tier, and then we'll be watching that in honor of Val Kilmer, the legend. So please go over there. Mission Possible. We dropped 2 retrospectives. Mission Possible 2 and Mission Possible Ghost Protocol on a variety of tiers your levels. We'll be recording more this week and get that. We very appreciate you if you go to Patreon and subscribe there. And then if not, just head down the links below for everything you need to know. You can get the video subscription and the audio subscription. We'd like to, review, rate, review, like. We'd very much appreciate it if you like what we do here. Just like this listener down below. Thank you to Aaron, Braden, April, Darkness, Jack Grant, Sam, Superman, Mike, God Loves Me 69, Jeremy Renner, and Charlie Randell. And most importantly, too, if you're a patron right now, go vote. People have started for our GV10 year. We're doing our Golden Geeks where you guys pick a year for us. Right now, there's 5 years. Let me just quickly shout those out because it's only going to be a week-long poll because we want to start watching those and take a recommendation. So just 1 second here. I know it's 1989, 1994, 2001, 2006, and 2008. And it's still, there's 1 year, I'm not going to say, that is kind of running away with it. But, some people could throw some weight behind the other ones and we see what happens. And yeah, Golden Geeks, we do like an Oscars for a certain year. All right. Where do we want to start? I think we should start, keep this in sections. So you got like Deidre,
episode 1.
Serial.
Okay. Yeah. That makes more sense doing it that way because I would be crossing over for
Cut
sure.
me out from the knees. Yeah, we got Mom Mothma stuff. We got Deidre. We got Andor, and then we got is it Bix or Bricks?
Yeah, Bix.
It's just
Bix.
It's Bix. Yeah. So where do
Stacking
we want to
bricks.
start? Yeah, yeah. How'd you get that name? Well, my father's a brick maker. But yeah, where do we want to start on this one?
Let's start with our boy, Andor. Mr. Andor himself. I already shouted him out, Diego Luna, as absolutely fantastic. I thought it was an interesting decision for him to do his little air quote pit stop. Just felt like a side quest adventure, like a filler sequence when he's just like landed with those rebels that are like infighting. They're having their own
Yes.
little civil war there. So like when it ended, I was just like, oh man, this just reminds me of watching an anime back in the day. And I'm like, well, I just watched a 20-minute episode for no reason at all, for like story purpose. I loved the sequence of it actually though. Like I just love the two teams starting together. They're like super untrustworthy of Cassian. I was expecting them to be like, okay, well then like Cassian to say a name and they're like, okay, yeah, we can trust him now. We're gonna just all work together, get out of this situation, and then that's what's going to lead to Andor Cassian getting like back to where he kind of has to go. That is not what happened at all, and I think that's what just made me love it because it was so unexpected, and it just felt like a movie, like a short film of just like it's all misty. There's like creatures out there. It's like a Jurassic Park type setting. Especially when we see them, it literally looks like a dinosaur type monster, like just the size of it. But I just thought it was so good with like, I don't know what's happening. I don't really know who these people are, and I don't know how it's going to end. So I was just really engaged with it. That when I got to the time that they're doing their 5 fists, their rock, paper, scissors, I don't really fully understand what the game was. But they're doing that, and then shit hits the
14
fan.
fours. It was that type of thing where there must be a lore
14
behind
million
this.
fours.
You're lying. You're lying, Will Turner.
I like the whole time I thought, okay, Cassian's gonna like somehow smooth this over. Everyone, like these are characters that we're gonna see again. He just fucking shoots like multiple people and gets out of there and just fucks off. And those people are just probably dead. Like I think they'll either kill themselves, starve, get eaten by the animals. Like they're just never gonna get out of there. So it was a side adventure, but I just loved the way it was executed. So I don't have any problems with it.
You know what planet that is, right?
I thought, well, no.
You know.
Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico.
Is it like the temples? So it'd be like
It's Yavin 4. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
where the
okay.
rebels set up their base. Yeah.
Which is the moon, right? Yavin 4. Come on now.
They got
Yavin 4?
Isn't Yavin 4 the fourth moon of Yavin? Is that why they call it that?
I believe Andor, forest moon of Andor.
No, his name's Andor, Taylor. It's not Andor.
Andor.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Yavin is the moon of Endor.
Yavin 4. Maybe you're right. Maybe I've never looked into it if it is a moon.
I just assumed because it was called 4, like how we have fucking
Moon
Serial
1,
4.
that's what we call
it. Moon 1. Exactly. I did not
While
clue
we're here,
that
let's
in,
talk
but,
about time
but when you
travel as
asked
well.
me that, and Travis has a ghost going on in the background, it's tripped me out. But just the temple, actually, yeah, that's because it made me think of Battlefront 2. You know those maps.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
That's it.
Oh yeah, I got nothing to add on the moon controversy, but for the episode, loved, or I'd say really enjoyed everything that happened here. It's unfortunately like my least favorite out of all the stories, but that's not
would
anything
agree.
like it's like still great stuff. Like you said, I think a good like short film. Loved the opening of him in some sort of Empire base ship, wherever it was, and then he's talking to a fellow spy who seems like she's a bit more newer to the game, that she's just recently flipped over, because she even says like, oh, like I like it here relatively, right? So, but she knows she's doing the right thing, her hand shaking, everything. So I like that. Again, visuals are great when he has the TIE fighter and he's just trying to get out of there. And I know we've kind of see it, but I feel like not much live action media. We've just seen people blown away by actual bullets. We've seen ships and we've seen people like run away, but just to see these stormtroopers get taken out by TIE fighter, lasers, it's gotta be a terrible way to go. And I love that they're showing the door closed. I'm like, how's he gonna get out of here, right? Because they showed it at one point very little, like there's a little space. I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be cheesy. He's gonna like fly out and he's gonna twist like, oh, I just made it, but no, it fully closed. I'm like, what's gonna happen here? And then he just says to like very like ruggedly and terribly, and I think it's just like the perfect example of this what Andor is. Instead of finding some sleek way to get out the door, it's like, nah, I just gotta power my way through, burst a couple holes, shoot out, and then boom, right through it, and everything's great there when he's escaping. Like, I was surprised because Andor, we definitely got some visual sequences, but to have something start off with an action set piece this early, I think they kind of do that to get people in. But man, did it look good. Many of these episodes, just like last season, I go, oh, I would take this if they said, hey, we're gonna put a couple episodes in the theater or whatnot. Like, that was a theater sequence. But no, Diego Luna is just so good. I agree with you, Kirkland, on the Rebel stuff. That did not go the way I thought. I thought, like, okay, it's going to be the classic misunderstanding. You say a name or, oh, that's my sister's friend. Like, and then they're all good. Never went that way. And to me, what works about that is, one, at least it's unpredictable. But two, that's how it should be in like the early stages of the rebellion, right? Because I'm sure at any point, even when we get to like Return of the Jedi, you still can't trust everybody, right? But the lines eventually get pretty drawn. It's like, you're bad, you're Empire, I'm Rebellion. People are wearing fucking logos all the time. Like, look, you talk about Yavin 4 later on, like everyone's decked out in like Rebellion gear, right? So it's like very easy to know who's who. Where right now, if you misstep and say, because it's the Empire's very all over, very dictatorship, very looking out. We get that in Bix episode, Bix, right?
Bix.
BIX.
I will remember it. Bix. Okay. We get that in Bix episodes where it's just like, just even at work, you are being profiled and looked at, and you look at Tony Gilroy talked about, he made a bunch of allusions to like, yeah, this show is covering a lot of stuff that's happening today that happens, especially in North America. And that's where it's like, you're in a stage where you don't want to fuck up. And even if you guys are fighting for the same cause, if there's an inkling that there's some untrust, that's why even with Andor shooting that guy, it made complete sense, because he might not get out of there, and his mission depends on him. His family and his friends depend on him. It doesn't matter. He doesn't have time to sit around and maybe get through to these people, where later on down the line, it'd be more like, oh, in the rebellion, you say a code word, I'm sure you're good to go. So I like that, seeing the early stages of the rebellion of where there's just a lack of trust with everybody. And we've even seen that with Mon Mothma, with Luthen, with I guess Cassian himself and Cassian's adoptive mom last year. There's all these people that are going towards the rebellion, but they're all in different spots. Obviously, Luthen and Mon Mothma are together right now because that wedding, but last season they're mostly apart, right? So that's the thing where someone's and Saw Gerrera. There's another one, right? Of like, can you trust the people that Saw Gerrera is going to be sitting out there? Maybe not. So it's these early stages where people have the same idea, like, hey, we got to take down the Empire. We got to get out of this, but they're not exactly on the same level. I know we're going to get to it, but even in Mon Mothma's story last season, I thought the guy was completely trustworthy, and now it's like, man, this guy's gonna fuck us over. So that's the thing where it's just like, we're in the early stages where the rebellion's just an idea right now. And I think this episode, I think the Andor portion was to show that. And like I said, my least favorite of the stories, but still very good. And my only nitpick was, I feel like in episode 1 or 2 they made a big deal about like not being out at night, because you'll find out, and then these guys are just out at nighttime bickering and having this game. It's like, I felt like they were very much hitting on Andor, like, you don't want to be out there at night, and they're just standing out and about at nighttime. And so it felt like a little easy for Andor to get out of this situation, but it was fine. And at least the CGI on the beast looked good, so I'll take that.
Oh, you got something?
Just one thing, there was like an unexpected amount of comedy too. I felt just spliced into like that specific like little arc with those characters. Like when they're like trying to move the ship, it just seemed like such a fucking goofy idea, and like it didn't work. And in my mind, I'm like, why don't they just go start like shooting at them? Like they're not gonna keep fucking. And then sure enough, they just start shooting. And it's like, holy fuck, everybody! Like and like these characters, I just think some of the lines that they were doing, it just seemed a little goofy, but it didn't feel overly comedic. Like it was just little sprinkles of comedy in there, and then we'll get to the serial stuff too, because that was just gold. But Taylor?
Yeah, I think that everything with Andor so far it's been great, and I like that at the end of the day he's obviously prioritizing his friends like any good rebel would do, aka Luke. But I think it just goes to show the chaos of just communicating and trying to make this work in a world where you don't have the ability to just drop on comms because he was supposed to meet this drop with Porco. Porco wasn't there. Porco was supposed to fly the ship, and he wasn't there. So now Andor had to fly this ship, and he didn't know how. He didn't know what he was doing. And I just like how it was all super chaotic. The drop just didn't work out for him, but he had to improvise, and yeah, this creature saved his life basically, which is super cool to see a little bit more of Yavin 4 in this light. But yeah, I think him just taking the ship, this advanced TIE fighter, and I'm not even sure what those other TIE fighters were called that we saw tailing after him in the station.
Jackson TIE fighters.
Jackson TIE fighters, yeah. But it was very, very cool, and I like where he's kind of progressing as a character. I'm excited to see where he's going to go now. And do we know the time difference between like each 3-episode arc? Was it a couple years leading right up to?
I know it leads right out to Rogue One. I don't know within each arc. I think they just said like Andor covers a certain amount of time, like the whole show. So I'm not sure if each arc
Like
does
the
a year jump or whatnot. But
Like the length of time frame that's covering, because at the start of the episode it said before
It said
the
a
battle of
year.
Yavin 4, right?
By 4 years before
Yeah,
the
like
battle,
4
yeah.
years before.
But in
Which
between
threw me off.
in between each story arc, there's a time period, time gap.
Okay, so the Andor season 2 will cover up to 4 years. The season is divided into 4 arcs of 3 episodes, and in universe, a year will pass between each episode block, which
Wait,
is
what? What did you just say?
So the next
I
3
did not know
episodes, it'll
this.
be a year later.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Even though
Which is-
I think you said that this episode, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, whatever.
Which I'm
Didn't
interested to
sink in.
see. Yeah, I'm interested to see how that goes because there's multiple storylines which we'll talk about that I would like immediate reaction on, not a year later. You know, because
What happened to Tay?
we know what happened today. The second Luthen was looking at him at dinner, but still, I like. It feels weird to have whatever happens to Tay and then jump a year later. To me, it feels weird that they're kind of doing this. I would say PTSD story with Bix, and then jump a year later to be like, oh, she's probably fixed now. She's all good.
Right.
You know, where this episode, like this arc, she's clearly still very fucked up. Like she's very much like an assault victim already, right? And they're probably gonna say like, oh, she killed that guy and her lost her friend and snapped her out of it. And that kind of ties into the end of the Andor arc here. And I think there's probably one other one, but yeah, it feels even just like the idea of Mon Mothma's daughter getting married and jumping a year, like. I'll wait and see how that goes because I feel like sometimes that works in shows and movies, and sometimes it goes, oh, like I would have really liked to know, you know, the next day, the next couple weeks, what would happen there because I imagine Luthen would kill Tay and Mon Mothma would, or do something to him, right? And Mon Mothma would find that out, and she's not usually a big fan of Luthen's methods, so I feel like that would be some good stuff. I trust this team to make it work, and they'll probably talk about it. It'll just might feel a little odd where it's like, oh, they are finally having the discussion a year later. You know, and same thing with Bix. I was actually liking the idea of her trying to struggle to go through here, but again, there's only one season, so maybe it's okay for these first episodes. We want her to have this arc, but now she's gonna snap at and be like, okay, we got to kick ass and take down the Empire. You know.
Yeah, it seems like it's a decision on like this is our last season. Let's
Yes.
cover everything.
It was supposed to
So,
be multiple seasons, so absolutely.
Yeah, I would have loved all that content spread over multiple seasons because I'm just peaking on the show right now. It's so good. I think there's some storylines that I agree with more than others that I like care more about, like the immediate reactions, like with the wedding stuff and Mon Mothma's daughter there. Like I'm okay with sitting a year. Like she was already pretty like pro Empire, right, from season 1. Like she definitely doesn't have the same tendency that her mom has, and even when we have that great scene between the two of them, she's like, I wish you were drunk, you're no mother of mine, you know. I added a couple words in there, but for the most part she's just that's her thing that she's aligning with, and she's marrying into this family that's questionable methods. I think she's going to be a pretty not main antagonist, but like a more that side of like a character, like a more of an enemy type. So I am excited to see that jump, and just maybe she's gonna have a little bit more influence, not needing, you know, the mom's power so much more anymore. But we'll wait and see. And then in terms to Tay just getting murked. I feel like she knew that was happening by the time that she finished talking to Luthen, honestly.
Yeah.
It's like, I told you this was going to happen. And like, she's just like so in shock. And then like the dance is going on. They bring out DJ Robot on the Roomba. And like, she just doesn't have time. The other mom is handing her shots. I swear I saw her do like 4 shots in a row there. So she's feeling pretty fucking all over the place at that time. And then she does a really, and fuck, the camera work in this show too is just so good. But when she just does like a little look back, and like she just looks like she has so much dread on her face, and I feel like that was just like she knows Tay's probably already in a barrel somewhere.
Yeah, and I guess we kind of got that in season 1 where that was them going back and forth. But yeah, I wrote down because obviously it probably doesn't top Luthen's speech last year because I don't know or last season, that speech that he gave to that guy about sacrifice and everything. But the line of dialogues they had back and forth was Luthen says, "You'll need to be protected," and she says, "I don't know what you're saying," and he says, "How nice for you." Pretty much just saying that she gets to be a little naive about what's going to happen and just kind of go, well, that's the way it has to go. But I feel like that also works towards when we watch, and that's why they don't put in this context, right? But when you watch episodes 4 to 6, it's an adventure, it's a good time, but it is the rebellions having to kill people, right? But I feel like when we get to that stage, that's when it's at this is all we can do is we have to kill people. There's no way around this. Like everyone, like I said, the line in the sand's drawn, and it's like, oh, should I kill the stormtroopers? Like, nah, I'm just gonna kill them right away and move on. Where I feel like this is the part that we're starting to get to, that Mon Mothma has to realize that, yeah, banking and backstage politics is something you have to do, but at one point, the hammer's going to have to go down. And I think now with that conversation, she's accepted. Obviously not liking it, is going to go take some shots because even they established that in this season again, but in last season, they established that they were kind of like the one that got away for each other, it seemed like, right? That they both were in love, but, for political reasons, family reasons, she married her douchebag husband, and he's with whoever his wife is now, divorced. But it sounds like she just left him once the money was dry, right? So it's like, how much of a marriage was that really when he's, saying that, they said bad investments. It's pretty much just sounds like because there was questions around things he was doing, money was going away or being taken away and everything. And then you get him, just like I said, not a turn that I was expecting. I thought he was with us, one of the good guys. But yeah, he was just pretty much going to blackmail. In a sense, he's insinuating he's going to blackmail Mon Mothma and the whole crew, right? It's like, oh, damn, like, we lost another one. So that's where I think same thing. She's trying to, terrible situation, right? Last season, she gets with this guy, to make a plan. And there's very few people that we know that are down to try to fuck with the Empire. She even gives up her own daughter to make up this connection, and she sells her off to pretty much a crime boss. And then after all that, the guy's like, well, you know what? I would like a little more money. So it's just like, man, every character's going through it, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like Mon Mothma has it the worst. I'll say maybe Bix because she was beat up and what happened in this episode, but as far as just the stress levels, man, every day Mon Mothma's wait, because at least Bix, there's times where she gets to be with just her people and whatnot, right? Where Mon Mothma, I feel like 23/7 has to have the nice mask on,
right?
Yeah,
like you can't, you're acting 24/7. If you slip up, you're gonna die, your family might die, and the whole rebellion might just end. There's so much pressure there. I feel like Luthen is pretty similar. He's not so much in the same limelight that
plus he doesn't have a kid he has to worry about, right? It's just him.
True.
Where now it's like her kid is like a bargaining chip with
and
the
she's
Empire.
she's a politician, so there's metaphorical cameras on her all the time, maybe literal cameras all the time, and the Empire, she's dealing with people in the Empire all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're 100% dead on with the thought there that she is under the most stress and just tension and all of that jazz. I had something else to add there, but I just kept going off, so don't remember it now.
Yeah, now we're here. We'll talk about Mon Mothma's arc, Taylor. What are you feeling about? Got that? There you got. I'll bring up something after for you. But yeah, Mon Mothma, Tay, Luthen can throw out the nice hair right now. He's got that wig rocking and stuff. And we got Mon
Love
Mothma's
his smile.
sister.
He's always just got
He's great,
he looks like
man.
he's a drink and a half in all the time. He just looks so ready
Oh
to
yeah,
socialize.
Stellan's fantastic.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things about this, not just with Mothma, and I guess this is kind of like other characters too, but there was so much going on in these episodes where I'll try and find out what I can and so forth. And Luthen was doing it at Mon's party where he's he's being super charismatic, but he's asking questions like, "Oh, you're not from here originally. Oh, and where'd you grow up?" And just asking these things, but it's
Yeah.
all a part of the larger game, right? Getting information and that intel. And I really like how they're just it's so subtle and so well done how it's in conversation. And so it's funny when Mon Mothma is first introduced here and you see, okay, it's the wedding and everyone's kind of gathering and whatnot. And she's like, she looks out at something and then it's like her greeting a bunch of people and her getting closer to this area. And I was just thinking, wouldn't that be funny if it's just Palpatine just showing up at this wedding? And she's just like looking concerned and she gets the landing pad and
Wait, what? Like under like in the fucking like under
you remember?
the wrapping?
Well, you remember when Luthen she sees something in the distance and she greets a bunch of people at the start, and then finally she shows up to the landing pad and it's Luthen who is like
Oh, I
catching
see.
her attention.
Yeah. I thought you
but
meant
just
like
replace.
the fucking artifact that Dad.
Oh yeah, it's
just
Palpatine. Ah, I made it.
Lightning comes out of his hands. The fucking DJ bot comes in.
Fucking Snoke clone just to hang out for a bit.
But yeah, I really do like how she's in this position where she's just giving up. Well, not giving up, but she knows what she has to
needs
do
a
at this
night off.
moment. She needs a night off, yeah, and she's just accepting this moment where she knows that she's probably gonna have to leave her kid behind. She's probably
yeah.
gonna have to.
She can't save her kid. She has her fucking dumb husband that's always around. She's kind of I think she's crossing a line she didn't want to cross as far as murdering people, right? She wanted to do it not an upfront way, but at least a political way, and she can't do that. So she's like, everything that's going wrong has gone wrong for her in last season and now this,
And like it seemed like that is the last moment she'll ever like truly be like in the tradition of her like homeland with her family there, her daughters like dancing and smiling. Like this is just the last of those moments.
Yes.
What are you finger waving me for?
Oh, well, we go back for... Oh, you would know because you said it seems like... She probably thinks that, but, this is where Han Solo and Princess Leia get married. So and she's there at the wedding, so...
I didn't know that.
You
There you go.
yeah. You get
Spoilers, fucker.
So-
It was just
You
But
never
not
read
with
the
not with her
book.
daughter. Not with her daughter though.
Yeah,
Her-
they
her
they
daughter's
revealed
not
that
there.
Luke struck her down, so...
Nice.
No, I'm joking. We don't know that. But... well,
It was Jackson. That's who it was.
yeah, Qui-Gon Jackson Jin back as a Force ghost. But yeah, and that's the thing. It's funny when we talk about the daughter. She's just kind of oblivious to this, but it's not her fault, right? Because this is where she grew up. Her dad is not even like in the middle anywhere. Like he's full on like Empire, or just like supports them. Right? Like he's not out there killing people, but he doesn't care. He's just with them, and that's where it's funny. Like I'm not trying to transition into that story. We'll talk about later, but the echoes of the characters. Mon Mothma's daughter is very similar to Deidre in a sense, right? Not in the sense of like the parents' side. Deidre like didn't have any parents, was an orphan, but because she grew up in an Empire camp, that's the way she is, right? Because that's all she knows. Those are the people that fed her, taught her lessons, and that's how life is. It's the same thing as Mon Mothma's daughter. You can't really you can't blame her in a sense, right? And it's kind of like obviously you could listen because it's your mom, but it's almost like too late. Like you're past the ninth inning, Mon, to be like, you know what?
Yeah.
If you don't want to get married, you don't have to. It's like, because remember, we had season 1, and that's when they met, and then it's been a year later. So even though like they talked about like, oh, he won't hold my hand and stuff like that, they're still going with the like young girl infatuated with a young boy that's like her, that's like rich and powerful and comes from a family, and yet so it's like, I appreciate Mon trying to do that because that's a good mother saying, hey, it'll be brave and everything. But at the same point, it's just like, it's too late. She grew up in this environment and you kind of let her, right? And it's not Mon's fault, because if you didn't let her, there's a chance she might be killed or something like that. So it's just like, Mon is just on such a fucking tightrope of what you're going to do. And it's going to be sad because obviously in the other movies, like we don't see much of her. So I'm hoping some way that she gets the daughter back. Obviously, don't give a fuck about the husband, but I hope that works out and maybe the daughter sees something or she makes a play. But I think there could be a sad reality where, Mon Mothma's in the base and she's with those rebels in those movies that she literally has to choose to leave her daughter to, pursue taking everything down. And that's what's going to suck, because same thing of like, not that they could do this. They can never do a Andor show after like Andor's dead. But I'd be very curious, and I wonder if that's why in the show she will get the daughter back. Because what happens when Mon Mothma's still alive and they win, and then where's her daughter, right? Because she would just still be like
Joins the First Order or something like that.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, so that's why I'm kind of have hope that maybe the
Alderaan.
daughter will join them. But we'll see. But shitty situation. But yeah, Genevieve O'Reilly. Everyone's great in it, but Genevieve O'Reilly is just man.
yeah, like while I was watching it, because and like something else I noticed in these episodes, I can't remember if they did it in season one because it's just been so long since I watched it, but I feel like we're jumping around a lot in the individual episodes. Like we're just like, I don't know, we're with Bix, and then quick cut to like Cassian and his rebels, and then it's like nothing even really happens. They just like say a couple things, then it like cuts somewhere else. I really liked it actually. I feel like normally I don't like it, but it's just like check in with this person, what's going on here. Check in with this person, what's going on here, and it didn't seem like we would just cut away from like a really important scene. It seemed like like the pacing of the drops were really good. Um, And yeah, that's like forgot what I was gonna say. So there we go.
I agree. I agree on all of it. It all worked out. Is there anything specifically? Trying to think. Yeah, Luthen was good. He's always creeping around. And I guess we can talk about Luthen now because yeah, he didn't have like a solo story. He was here. Mon was surprised. He's kind of tying all of them because he's trying to get updates from Andor and doesn't get anything. We also got a connection where Mon Mothma's sister, I can't remember her name, and then the agent that is working with Luthen. That's
Her
like
cousin,
very.
Vel.
I thought they were siblings.
They're sisters. Mon.
Oh, are
and
they? Okay, I
yeah.
thought it was a cousin. Who's
Yeah.
fucking vibrators going off? You hear that?
Val? Mon?
Sisters. Okay.
About her sister, and then Luthen's like little worker there. That's the one that picked up Tay. So they're kind of in this, in this like, will they, won't they, and they kind of broke off for different reasons. So again, I like Luthen's world because I feel like Luthen's all pretty, he has his loyal soldiers. But yeah, Stellan, he's always great. He's just literally in seconds when he's just like slinking through those corridors, and he's like watching them and stuff, and then like he can just go from like you talked about Kirkland, like seeming drunk, shit eating grin, like you want to punch this guy, to he will fucking murder you right now if you say something wrong. And yeah, Stellan's just amazing, and I'm so excited for more Luthen. And yeah, it just seems like he's also like Mon Mothma, but he's got lots on his plate too, spinning things, checking on people. He's dealing with his wedding. He's dealing with Cassian being missing. There's other stuff going on, and he's like he has to hide his identity too because he has like a disguise even here, right? So he's in a similar situation. So yeah, great stuff from Luthen.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah, he just commands the attention of the scene. I really like that, and it's funny how his relationship is with his associate. I can't remember her name, but she's not
Oh, like
afraid
his
to put him in
assistant
his
lady?
place. Yeah, she's not afraid to put him in his place, right? And she's trying to do shit, and it's cool to see how networked this whole organization really is.
Yeah.
Clea? Does that ring a bell? Doesn't sound right to me. But,
Doesn't sound right.
looks like her. So there you go. That was the other thing I remembered that I forgot to say about Mon, and just like fleshing out like the questions about her daughter, and like just these like ties that she's just cutting ties with. Like initially when you get like the original Star Wars, like you see all these people in the rebellion, and you never think about like their backstory now, but like when you get like a good story like this, I feel like I'm gonna be thinking about not just this character like Mon, like just all of the other individuals that are just like like had to uproot their life, or just their family were like murdered by the Empire. Like there's just so much baggage that's like added on to the pieces of a story that's already been established with the originals now. Just the whole rebellion thing. Like they're doing such a good job at just telling, like peering behind the curtain on like what is actually like these human beings, a part of this war, a part of this adventure. And yeah, I'm eating it up. I'm loving it.
Yeah. Anything else too from the wedding we haven't talked about? Like Luther, we got Mon. I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
It looked really cool. I thought the
Yep.
ritual was like very culty, but also just beautiful. Like it looked really good. All the dresses looked really cool. Yeah, I was loving when that dance music comes on. Like I'm kind of iffy when it comes to like air quote modern music in Star Wars. I'm glad there's no like vocals. I'm just waiting
Yeah.
for like a DJ Khaled drop or something, to like really take
Fucking
me out of the Star
Lizzo.
Wars. Yes,
Get her back for this. Oh, you loved her in Mando. She's back.
Yeah, no, like I don't know, just a little EDM beat or something. Like it's getting close to the line of the like out of Star Wars realm, but I don't think it ever crossed it for me. I think it was a good healthy balance, and because you have like the traditional dance that they do between the husband and the wife there, and then yeah, they just come out with the fucking just the DJ bot. I just thought was hilarious, and they're all just going at it, and least they weren't like twerking or something. They're still doing different type of
Yeah.
dances, traditional. To their
It's
culture.
Star Wars enough for me. I get it because
Yeah.
I'm somebody that doesn't like modern music as well in Star Wars. We talk about the trailers, but like I feel like it's still like there's a modern tinge to it, but it's like Star Wars enough where I go, okay, I can work with this here. So
Yeah, I was just thinking about Baron Zemo the whole time too, especially at
Oh,
the end
yeah.
when Mom's just she's
Gone.
on her
Different-
liquor.
she's on Exegol
spinning
right
around.
now.
Yeah.
Fuck. She's seeing Snokes all over the place. And her husband, they just have shot him like very concerned about her, like because
No, he was looking. I felt like he was gonna make a move or something. Like, oh, there's the wife I knew.
Yeah.
that's not a good situation. I feel like he think it might go well, but she's just gonna lay a bunch of shit on him. But and that was something too. I can't remember if we got that in season 1, but he also just called out that he pretty much like they weren't having an affair yet, but like just kind of saying like you're gonna have an affair, like just insinuating stuff about him and her and Tay and everything like that. And that's why I kind of again like the Andor situation. I thought based on season 1, we're gonna get there eventually because that her and her husband are kind of married just kind of by appearances.
Yeah.
Seems like there's some connection with Tay, but I think the only connection her and Tay are gonna have is visiting his fucking gravesite. I guess I don't know if there's grave sites in Star
It's gonna
Wars.
be
'Cause
unmarked. No,
they just seem to
unmarked grave.
burn everybody. We've never seen a gravesite in Star Wars, have we? I know the Jedi's they burn, but like, what about the rest of the soldiers?
We saw one for Shmi Skywalker on Tatooine.
Yeah, but that was like a homemade, like they just did it on there. Like I'm just
Sandwalkers. Sand people, not the sandwalkers.
I mean, if you're looking for a grave, I don't know if you'd find one. I think the Death Star 2 blowing up, that was like an honorary because it's too many bodies to bury. There's too many bodies.
yeah, but I'm just talking about like I guess on Andor, the stormtroopers got cooked and eaten because the fucking Ewoks are pounding on their
man.
head. So I think they do just burn everybody in Star Wars. That just like I don't think we've ever really dived into that. Like other than Shmi, I guess I'd say like probably 80% of the deaths and burials are just burning.
Yeah. There's a few burials. I
Tell
don't
me.
know to like pull from in my head, but I'm like, there's got to be like in
Can't
some
bury
Clone Wars
Jedi.
episode
They just
or
disappear.
something.
No, they don't though.
Yeah, all the Jedi disappear now. That's the new canon.
Now though, what happened to Qui-Gon Jackson Jinn? They had a whole
Well,
funeral for him.
They
and they burned
disappear.
him.
That's the new canon now.
Well, they all
gone,
just
their
turn into the
bodies.
Force. Everyone knows the way to like
Oh.
eternal life. They all disappeared into the Force.
And when did
the
that
bad
start?
guys.
Because they burned Vader as well.
No, that was just his suit. His body just disappeared inside. So his suit is
Slugging
just...
around an empty suit.
Yeah.
All the shit's falling apart. Hey,
Yeah.
can you pick up that bolt? That's my father's bolt. Let's see. Yeah, Yoda disappeared. Obi-Wan disappeared. But yeah, Qui-Gon Jinn Jackson didn't. And then
He was
I'm
starting
trying-
to disappear when they burned him.
yeah, he wasn't worthy enough. He didn't get to disappear. But we'll crack in that another day. Let's take an ad break. We'll talk about the other stories. We'll be right back. And we are back. Okay, so we talked about. Let's talk about Deidre and
Fuck
Serial
yes.
here. I want to go to Taylor first because Taylor, we talked about predictions, and I was like, "Oh man, I can't wait for some more sexual activity action." Like, nah, we're not getting that. Oh, I don't think we're going to be getting just fucking like full on anal scenes or anything like that. But like, they're together. They're fucking living together. They're meeting each other's parents. Oh yeah, but with them it's just silent though. This wouldn't be happening when they're having sex. It's just pure silence, and it's like the Family Guy, like I'm done. Like it's that type of thing. But
Excellent performance this evening.
Yeah.
We'll review it tomorrow.
yeah, could have used more thrusting power in the second minute, but that's okay. But no, I was expecting them to actually, because to me that was the payoff, right? He's obsessed with her. I actually don't know how far they're gonna go because we heard the word rape in Star Wars tonight, which I can see a lot of people being like, I don't like that, which I wouldn't say you're wrong because that's a big leap, and we'll get there. But that's where it's like I don't know if we won't get a sex scene in Star Wars. But for me, in season 1, I was like, the payoff has to be them getting together. So Taylor, I got to go to you because you thought, oh, that wasn't going to happen. But not only are they together, like I said, they're living together, committed relationship. Seem like they're working it all out. She's caressing his lips, so they're an item now.
Yeah, they are an item. I was not expecting that at all, so that definitely caught me off guard. And it seems like he has no spine against his mom or against her. Like she's calling the shots, and I like that she put her foot down with the mom. I was not expecting that scene at all when the door slid open. I was thinking like, oh, it's Palpatine. No, I'm just kidding.
Every person.
Cheryl.
Madison, come look.
Let's see how you fuck now.
But yeah, no, it's just the mom popping in there and having this whole conversation. And then I feel like, did I blink and miss something? Because he woke back up after laying on the bed and like walked back in and was happy that his mom was complimenting him. Like, did I blink and miss? Did he storm off in one scene here really quick? I just feel like it was just such a weird. He left the room. Okay, because he was laying on the bed
or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, he was just so stressed out from the fact of his bum, and I think I think what happens is he overhears them talking in a nice light, and he's like, "Oh, like that's odd." And then when he sits down, his mom's just giving him nothing but compliments, which I can figure that doesn't happen much from his mother before, right? So I think just the fact that it was going well took some bics off his back,
some bigs off his back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was fun. It really fleshes out more of her character, Daedra, and just how she's in charge, and she's very, very she's very well versed and very present in how to play things. Like we'll talk more about it later with her and Krennic, but I really liked how she was just super on point and already knew how to proceed before the conversation even ended with everyone else talking. And I feel like that's the same thing here that's represented and reflected when the mom is in the room for 30 seconds and she already knows how to play this out. She already knows, okay, once there's a break in the conversation, I'm just going to lay out the facts here about your ex or whatever, your former husband. You don't want his record to be put out there. You don't want this to happen. Uncle, right? The uncle, yeah.
Big difference between uncle and former husband.
That's right.
You don't want to get those crossed. But
but everything with that was great. And yes, Cyril just like walking this new guy like, yeah, I was in your shoes once, and then after months of work, I found a whole corrupt ring. It's like, man,
love that scene.
It's not
He's
what you
like
want to be
tearing
bragging
up.
about.
He's getting so
He is.
emotional. Intense.
That was crazy. But it's just, I'm wondering in the long run, like Deirdre, I can see how her character will be impacting the story moving forward. But with Cyril, I have no fucking idea how. Like, is he going to be compromised? Like, is he going to be the one to kill her or do something to her? Like, kind of anger?
No, I think they both go down with the ship because he's already.
Who's going to kill him?
Some Andor, sure.
Andor?
Luthen, like somebody. I don't know. Mon Mothma. She's gonna kill him.
Luthen's hitman. That lady that was driving away with Tay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm your new driver, sir. I'm sure Deirdre's into some kinky dumb
We don't see the death scenes. It's always her like, I'm your new driver now. And then
anytime you see her,
that
she's just the
character again.
Anton Sugar of the Star Wars universe. You just know it's over. But yes, I agree, Mike. She's probably into some quite the big dominatrix stuff. But no, because I just feel like the second she got back, he's like, "Oh, how's that thing that you like?" I'm paraphrased, but how was that thing you can't talk about? And she's like, "Oh, it was short." And, like, it seemed like he wanted to pry more. And it's so funny. At one point, they did this shot where he's like looking down, and he looked like very concerned. I was like, "Oh, did she leave something out that he could see?" But then they go and it's just a plate and a fork, and the fork's like a little like moved, and he's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
you
he's
fix
like
it."
super OCD.
Yeah. So I thought, "Oh fuck, he's finding some files." But I think that he's going to be inquisitive of what she is working on, and I don't think he's going to be like, how could you say, like, I don't think he's a guy that's going to be like, whether it's Death Star plans, whatever it is, I don't think he's like, how could you be doing this? Like, he seems like a pretty fucked up guy. I just wonder if he might indirectly get her in trouble, or he'll decide, oh, I'm going to help you with this, and hey, maybe him knowing the information will be the death of them both. I know too, you don't think Vader is there, but everyone shares that screenshot of her getting like either mad or getting choked, right? And fuck, Vader there you go, Vader kills Cyril in a second, you know?
I don't know why Vader would be. Well, yeah, Vader killing Cyril. That's
Cyril would
way
take him
too
a couple
overkill.
rounds.
Because he just
would go a
met
couple rounds
Cyril.
with him.
He just met Cyril. He's like, oh, I need to fucking kill this guy right now. And he goes and
can do
chokes
this
him,
all
and
day.
Cyril says, harder, daddy. And it gets really awkward.
Vader,
but-
after a few months, you could find a corrupt crime ring. Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe he's into Deirdre. He's like, you know what? I gotta get out over Padme somehow, and this is what it's gonna be. And she denies him. But no, I think there's a way. I don't think they make it out. I think a lot of these characters don't. We're gonna lose a lot of people. Like obviously Andor's gonna make it. Krennic's gonna make it. When we meet the robot K2S, so he's gonna make it. But the rest of these characters, like I'm not saying everyone's gonna die, but like I think you kind of have to write them off. So they could just easily be. He could be escorting her to like some sort of mission or something like that, because he's still working for the Empire in a like police-esque role, right? Like, so I could just see there's being some case or something where they link up together, have to work together, and it goes terribly. So I don't think either of them are killing each other, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. I could see them living on past the show and just never spoken about again.
We get the spin-off show.
Yeah, yeah. Fuck, I'd be so down for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is like just the whole 3 episodes are just peak for me. But this was just like I was eating this up. I was just smiling. I was laughing. Like as soon as like the first time we see Cyril and he's like in like the managerial role for like the same dynamic between this like new guy who was him, and he's just like such a keener. He knows all the rules, and he's
I was where you were before.
and he's just like leaning to this guy, and then like someone that's working like looks at them, and he just like snaps at him like get back to work. Yeah, no, I just think this is such a fun dynamic for Cyril to be in.
Cyril.
I couldn't remember exactly what happened like between like I knew he saved Daedra in that event at Ferrex. Is that what that
Ferrex,
called?
yeah.
And like I kind of remember them sharing a look or something. But like I couldn't remember what happened afterward.
Because I think she was just surprised he kind of like put his life on the line.
Yeah, but to go
save
from
her.
that to the first time we see them together, to like living together and like
Year later,
actually, like,
though,
a full
right?
on. True. Yeah. No,
Like,
very true.
A lot of time has passed. I think she's just like she knows this guy no matter what's loyal to him, and I think she just gets off on some guy being obsessed, and he just fucking
Yeah,
just
maybe it
loves
just
her,
struck a kink, for her. She's totally
I think
into
so
it.
for both.
I can strap on. We can do this. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it. But yeah, I also just feel like Daedra. I just assumed she's like just a stone robot villain character where like she just lives in like just a stone room with like just
She kind of does. Like it's very
she had opera going. She
I guess I just mean the appearance of it. It looks like a fucking model home. Because even the mom, when she walks in, she's like, "Oh, this is not exactly what I was expecting." Like it just looks like it's a fucking army camp. Which I forgot to mention. That mom. Do you guys remember I can't remember the character's name, but she's the owner
squib?
of the whorehouse from Poor Things.
Oh, I was going Harry
She's
Potter.
the squib too. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
I
that
remember.
not what I pull from, but yeah.
Oh, she's the okay.
The one that
head
always
lady.
biting Emma Stone.
Yeah.
Oh, after that I was like, oh, I gotta rewatch this again because she just has that voice. But
She's
she
all
did a
tatted
great
up.
job.
Right?
Yeah, under that robe, we'll take it off
Yeah.
later. But no, she was great. She was great, just playing like an annoying. But what I liked about that dynamic was because I wasn't sure if like, okay, he saved her, but is it just a situation where she is just with someone that's pathetic and that's loyal, but she's gonna still treat them like shit? But she kind of like stuck up for him with the mom situation, right? That's not something I was expecting. So it seems like they actually have a bond. It just seems like they're both kind of off and evil in their own ways, but they just kind of get each other, which I wasn't sure. I thought we could just get her, kind of pussyfooting around and using him to her advantage, but never really like not putting out, not doing that type of stuff, like not caring about him. But like she seems like I said at one point, she like rubbed his lips, and he even said like, "Hey, like we don't have to do." We didn't know who the meeting was, but he's like, "Oh, we could lie and say you're not here," and she's like, "Oh no, let's do this." Like wanting to meet the mom, and she's like changing all her outfits to figure out which is the best one. And I don't know what they're gonna
smile or like practice smile that was so creepy.
Which to me, I was like, oh, I didn't even think that character would care about that, and that's where I don't know for sure. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I would not. There's a 5% of me that could see her turning good. I don't think it's gonna happen, but with them giving her like a somewhat sympathetic backstory of parents dead at 3, because it's not like she's chosen to be evil. Like I said, she's been raised that way. It was almost against her will, where she was dropped in a camp. So it's like if she was dropped in a camp with on someone on the rebellion side, she would be with them maybe, right? I don't know for sure, but they gave her that, and also with that meeting with Krennic, she seemed a little. Everyone was like really juicing, like it's all these old guys are like smiling, looking like, but she seemed like conflicted about it a little bit. I don't know what it could be, a business thing, but I'm wondering what's going to happen there. So
Well, she didn't want the gig, right? Because it was just she saw it as beneath her, and she was more focused on what her main project was, her access.
And also, she's like, propaganda can only get you so far. Like, you gotta fucking drop the hammer. Like, I feel like she's like, just purge the planet. Let's just fucking do this. Like, why do we have to like dance around the propaganda gate? Maybe I read into that wrong. I'm in the camp. I think she's like 100%. Like, they're both 100% Empire, ride or die, like till the end of their days. I think that what So yeah, I love I love the Daedra Cyril dynamic for so many reasons, but I just one of the key ones is it's just so intriguing to see a relationship of two people that are in the Empire, and they're not like waning on like secretly rebellion or something. Like they're just in the Empire, and this is
Yeah.
just a relation. Like I didn't even think that was a possible thing. I thought they're just stormtroopers, like, you know, like they're like clones. They just, hey, stop right there, like just like the NPC lines. Like that's how I see the Empire. So seeing a show like this that we can get a glimpse into just what their home life is, is like they have anxieties, they have they're like regular
Sexual
people.
needs.
Yes, they're sexual needs. They don't want to do their job sometimes. Like, well, you know what? I guess we're both getting a reminder into the chain of command. Like I think everything Daedra and Cyril for me is 100% just good. I'm fucking loving with this. When I already mentioned it, like when the first time we see Cyril, but when we go to the house sequence and you just see Daedra there, the opera's going off, door opens, and fucking Cyril walks in. That was 100% me. I was so fucking amped. I'm like, let's fucking go. Let's get the home life of these two characters.
Yeah.
Cyril started from the bottom from last season. Now he's like living with this lady that he was just idolizing and obsessed with. He was going like
be
full
a manager
stalker
wherever
mode.
he is at too. You know?
Yeah, 100%. So
He's living the
I'm-
dream. He won.
I'm loving it. Especially from where I was on the character in season one. I'll have to listen back to the reviews because I'm pretty sure I was like, who the fuck is this serial character? Why are we spending so much time with him? I hate him. But he's like a meme for me now, but not even, because I'm actually liking the storytelling around him and the layering of the anxiety dynamic. Like that's not a thing that we had to tackle in the show. It's about the rebellion, but like we just added on this layer to the character. So just another example on, I think, excellent just storytelling and writing for what this show is doing.
Well, not even the show. It's for Star Wars, right? Like that example of anxiety. I don't think they've if they've touched upon it, it's been to a minute degree, and this is a big thing. Which again, I could see someone watching this be like, "Why do I need to see people of the Empire dealing with this?" Because people could also try to like, which I think is good because it fleshes that side out. But some people might argue of why like that makes them somewhat sympathetic, right? Of like, oh, this guy who's stressing out because his mom's around. I want to think about the Empire stressing out. I just want them to be gunned down, right? But I think it fits in this type of show. That's where I agree. Where this might be tough to do in like a mainstream level, right? To get the, like those $1 billion, you know, which even then, like, I feel like the most they could do with the hey, make someone sympathetic on the bad side is what they did with Kylo Ren. And it, but maybe I'm speaking myself against it because who does everyone think is the most interesting character of the sequel trilogy is Kylo Ren, right? And that was a character who was like a massacre terrorist guy, took hundreds of lives, but because this little girl, pretty girl, showed him affection, she's like, well, maybe I'm not like I could be the good guy, you know, like I could be Ben Solo again. So I think people like those stories, and anxiety is something that's like way more prevalent nowadays than it is, but it's just something that's not directly talked about in the space wars and stuff. So it's a whole new front. So. Oh God! I'm betting after the time skip they have a baby. I thought they were maybe going to talk about that with the mom. I don't think I want that storyline because I think that gets tougher into the situation where these characters, as much as we love them, they should die, right? They, you know, protrude racism as far as like who they're with. They want to just kill innocents. So my problem is if you there is like that is an interesting concept because it's almost like Deirdre and Mon Mothma's daughter, where you could see that's where maybe I would want that in a show that was like a season starting off with a baby and then at the end and you see the child grow, because I don't know if I want to be rooting for the death of a kid, right? But if you could get to a situation where it's like, oh, you see this kid grow up and now they're just like a Joffrey from Game of Thrones, like, yeah, fuck this person. But with this timeline with 4 years, the child would only get to 3, and it's like, do I want to be rooting for this child to become an orphan? That's where I'm tough. But I'm not saying, Mike, you're wrong. That dynamic would be completely amazing and it'd be interesting to see. But I think that'd be better in a show where that didn't get, okay, you only got 1 season to tackle 4 years. I think it could be too much, but that would be an interesting situation for those two. So, and actually, no, she wouldn't be the stay-at-home mom. He'd be the stay-at-home mom. She ain't staying home.
Yeah. Did you
She's
see him like chopping and everything? He's like a
Oh
master.
man.
Oh, yeah. Gordon Ramsay's going to be all over him, you know, so. Yeah.
Totally.
Anything else on these two before we move on? I guess Krennic, we talk about Krennic a
Yeah,
little
I
bit.
really
and
liked that sequence. I just liked the whole setup on, like, I'm just assuming he's gonna just open up with, we're building in the Death Star, you
I
know, like
thought so
just
too.
just
Yeah.
like the classic, like everybody knows. But he shows this like what reminded me of like a Starship Troopers like propaganda video, when it's like the only good bug is a dead bug. Like they're showing all these like spiders. Can't remember the planet's name. Gorgon. I want to say, but
Gorman.
that can't be. Gorman. Thank you.
Gorgon.
Yeah, and it was just an interesting setup because I'm like, where are they going here? Like with these spiders, like is they saying spider silk is like what they shoot out of the Death Star? Like what the fuck's going on? But just it's like the Dune, you know, like spice is the ultimate limited power in the galaxy. So that's what we're gonna get from here. I like the building up around it because we're getting a lot of time jumps. I was gonna say I don't think we would actually go there, but probably are now if we're jumping time. Like we're gonna be getting underway on like the actual taking over of.
I was gonna
of
say
the
go there
planet.
once basic operations have been set up and everything
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, what's his name? But I want to say
Ben Mendelsohn.
Ben Mendelsohn. Thank you.
Oh,
I love him, and like I feel like he's not in like super stellar projects, at least from what I've seen. But I just there's something about him. I just love him, and in this character, where he like, I don't know, he's like charming but also scary. I mean, we've seen him before, but I think that's just a good character trait from him, and yeah, good to see him in something not Gaia related.
Yeah, something a bit better. Yeah, no, I'm interested to see where it goes. I like some of the comedy of those guys being like, why do you think Gorman acts that way? Why do you think the people are like this? And Mendelssohn's like, okay, we've heard enough. Almost like it was like a fourth wall type of breaking joke. And I liked the idea of Krennic saying that he was the one that recommended her. So I like to see that dynamic. And that was a character that, again, because of the opinion of Rogue One, one of the reasons I don't like that movie is the verse of the show. There's so many characters you don't get enough of. That was a character that I enjoyed but wanted more of. We're in a show, we only got him one episode here, but hopefully we'll get him multiple times. You can again flesh out because you have the time. You have 12 hours. Again, he was only in I don't know what under 10 minutes in one episode, so I'm hoping it increases a little more in the future. But again, hopefully just makes stuff that going into Rogue One, which I'm going to rewatch after I get here, but at the same time, it doesn't help the other characters. But yeah, excited to see him and see where we go. Well, the Emperor drops Taylor from he just talked to the Emperor yesterday
Those are
and
good
stuff.
drops.
So
Yeah,
They're
just
getting
talk
me
to
hyped.
him. Yeah, everything with Krennic was really really enjoyable. Really liked that, and I liked how big thing that they're doing these things in secret under Colonel Yularen and even Grand Moff Tarkin, which is fucking huge because Grand Moff Tarkin is like second in command of everything Imperial. I mean, he's up there with Vader. I mean, Vader doesn't fit into the natural ranking of things. He's outside of the chain of command, but he just has authority. Where Grand Moff Tarkin, he's in that chain of command and he's got that authority and he's on par with Vader. Whether you like it or not, I mean, that's from A New Hope. The two of
I
them
feel like
have that kind of
arguably
understanding.
more than Vader, though, right? Like he's like
Well, he tells Vader what to do too at
yeah,
times in A New Hope.
he's like a more political side of it, where Vader's just a
Vader's
fucking knight with
if
powers
you-
and
yeah.
a saber.
if you just look at episode 4, Vader's an attack dog in that movie, right?
Yeah.
Like he's not like like obviously I think comics, games, the prequel stuff, they add more to where Vader ranked and how important it was to Palpatine. But in those first, even Empire, like I guess he's leading the charge, but he's still kind of doing his own thing, right? Like he's not, he's not in the system like he said. So
No.
And then sorry, just the details where Krennic says, because he says like this is basically the Emperor is like the only person that knows about this other than the people in the room, right?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So
I
not even
couldn't remember
Tarkin,
who
right?
was
Were
on.
they insinuating that Tarkin didn't get?
No, he said that
they'll
Tarkin and
figure it out
Yularen
later, essentially.
they'll figure it
right?
out later. Yeah, which is
Yeah.
I love that. That's crazy that they're willing to keep them at bay. But it also goes to show. I mean, Krennic doesn't like Tarkin for obvious
Yes,
reasons
they
that we
show that in
see
Rogue
later
One,
on.
right?
Yeah, with Rogue One, absolutely. So that's very foreshadowy, but it just really great at development with the narrative.
Which
But
is before you continue, it is interesting. Do you think he did 100% meet the Emperor, or is that bullshit?
I think he met the Emperor.
Do you think he met the Emperor via in person or via hologram though?
It would have been hologram. In the
Yeah.
Thrawn books, this is much of a spoiler. At the time when Krennic was like really pushing for Stardust, you had Thrawn pushing for his TIE Defender program. The two of them were like butting heads, and the Emperor was involved with this a little bit too. And then you had Yularen and Tarkin, mostly Tarkin involved with these kind of.
Who's Yularen? Do I know
Colonel
this
Yularen.
character?
So he was in the first season of Andor, and he's kind of like leader of the ISB, and
okay.
Okay, I can't
he played a heavy role in the Clone Wars. He basically served right underneath Anakin Skywalker during the Clone Wars. So
I was just asking because like it's not a negative for me, but I remember in that scene with Rogue One when he's talking to Vader and he's like, "Oh, so you'll tell the Emperor about me or about this planet." Kind of it felt like Krennic had not been gotten to that level yet, where he had conversated with the Emperor. So I want to see if that tracks in the future. If it's a for sure, like not saying he for sure hasn't talked to like. I'm just wondering, did he get orders from Palpatine and he takes it as like, well, I've spoken to the Emperor, but really it's like if a guy sends you a note or a hologram like recording, that's not speaking to him, right? Because in Rogue One, he's kind of inquiring to Vader, like he's trying. It feels like he's trying to edge his way to get closer into their ring of trust or their circle of trust. So just caught me off guard that he seems so kind of chummy with the Emperor in this episode, which I'm not saying it's wrong to drop those references because that would be the one because he just said it. Hey, if anything leaves this room, we'll know it's these people and you're gonna you're dead. You're fucking dead, you know, because the Emperor you're gonna be brought to the Emperor's knees and done. You know?
I was wondering who was gonna say it's like you're gonna get killed or tortured, but it's like you're just gonna be brought to the Emperor, and I'm like, man, that is worst case scenario. Like that is what Bix went through, but times 1,000 probably.
You're gonna be turned into Snoke, you know. You're gonna be sitting in a tube for years. Your body's gonna be sucked of nutrients and like a perfect vessel. Yeah.
I mean, and just like the whole, I guess air quote chumminess that he's like talking about with the Empire. It's like we're fucking buddies. We you know we rub elbows. I just feel like that's also kind of how most Imperial people talk about like the Emperor because they're always trying to like up, like just
they're the top of
show-
the chain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like they're posturing essentially.
Peacocking.
Like exactly. Thank you, peacocking. They're just putting it out there that they're just so much better than everyone else.
Yeah, and that's what that
just
scene
seems
felt
like a
like
big trait.
to me, Mendelsohn. Like it didn't feel like that was
like-
it's like, oh my, I know a guy, you know. It's like, do you
But like
know?
I still feel that just the weight of his words were like they had weight to them when he would just talk about the Emperor because it's just like, oh my god, it's the Emperor. Like fuck.
Yeah.
If he's right and like I do fuck up here and I have to go answer the Emperor, like that is like going to hell essentially especially for the Empire.
Yeah.
So I just love I guess the way that the threats were kind of in a very imperialistic way of like, well, you know, you'll have to just speak to him. Not you're gonna get fucking brain mushed by Sheev.
you have to see if anyone would like call your bluff if it's like a bluff charge.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, someone just shouts that out.
You and what Emperor?
the room's dark. He's like, who said that? Who said that?
Throws a tomato at his video. Fucking spiders.
Yeah.
Next video.
It's the best you got is spiders. This is something else.
on that note of like the spiders and like the minerals that they want to mine in Gorman, I think that's really it just is so fitting with everything because with the Death Star and its development and Krennic just seeing a new opportunity to increase its production and construction and whatnot and just pursuing that, I really like that. And how they don't care about what happens to an indigenous population, but I like how they're really trying to play this out carefully because I mean, they have to spin a narrative and they got to play it out smart because this is obviously a very politically powerful planet that they're dealing with in the Senate. And there's a lot going on here. So I like all of that dynamic. But it always takes me back to when they exterminated all the Geonosians to keep the plans a secret. And they were building the Death Star. So I love all that kind of shit. And this is just another thing where they're just trying to do it.
They don't give a fuck. If you're living on a planet and you see someone setting up camp, it's the Empire, just move out of there immediately. Immediately get out of there. Leave. So.
Where are you gonna go though? Like they just control the whole galaxy, right?
Well, you hope you can just move, right? If it's just this where they're just like, oh, we're just here to run an operation. It's not like you're under siege.
Yeah.
I would just say, yeah, let's get out of here. Obviously, like with Biggs, which I was gonna say, do we have anything else on Krennic or anything there? Deidre, Zero, we can move on to Bix there. In that situation, when they're there to do an investigation, so you can't leave or move because you're not supposed to go. Communications are shut down, so it's just bad. And I always fucking butcher name, Adria Drona or whatever. What the fuck? I gotta see it. When I see it, I can say it better.
Adria Arjona?
Arjona? I don't think you pronounce the J.
Adria Arona? or
That's
Arjona.
nice. Arjona.
I'm gonna
That's
go with
a robot
Adria.
to it.
She just like last season was fantastic. I can't wait to see what else she does. I still am on the Katie O'Brien kick, but I've seen people suggest her as Wonder Woman, and I wouldn't be mad about that at all either. She's just so good, and this was interesting to pick up because again, just like the anxiety, we don't like. I think we see small, very mainstream versions of like I think you could argue Luke in episode 8 kind of has like a mini version of PTSD, right? With Kylo Ren not wanting to get apprentice, but it's very like surface level. But this is like just sounds, she's having dreams, just the sight of that guy walking down
God.
where at the
Goosebumps
Imperius,
right
yeah,
now,
the
you
Imperius
just
stuff,
talking
it's like
about it.
oh my god, because like she doesn't know they could be there to kidnap her, they could know exactly who she is, whatever it may be. It's like man, and she sells it so well because I think that must be like a hard thing because like it's maybe people have gone through that and she could pull from that, but not everybody has post-traumatic stress disorder. So it's like, okay, how do you show that and not come off as kind of goofy and just like, okay, you're really shaken up, and you're supposed to do it also in a scene where you're playing it up that you have this disorder going on, but you're also supposed to be playing it cool. And kudos to the guy that did play that Empire agent because he just played him so slimy and sleazy. He did like such a great job. And yeah, I knew what they were doing, and lots of great stuff here. Of they have that guy who was like, I can't remember the friend they lost, Andor and her friend.
Brasson, I think was his name.
Yeah, Brasson.
Oh,
So
Brasso.
he's working
Brasso.
at like that shop or whatever, and they have that friend again. Same thing. I thought we could trust him. He turns, or in that situation too, where it's like, is it worth my
He was
life?
faking it.
Yeah, he was faking it because they nodded afterwards. Like he was doing it to keep the shop owner like free of any
Okay, well,
claims or whatever.
Didn't work out for Brasso then. So I must have missed the head shake. So I just thought this guy was a complete asshole. So I must have missed that.
He did smirk, and I'm like, he is fucking like sinister, this guy. And then it goes to Brasso, and he's kind of smirking too. I'm like, oh, okay, they're in on it together.
He's just
here,
like
but-
stone cold,
Yeah.
being like "fucker." But okay, so that's
remember
good to know.
what you
So
did.
okay, that's good to know because I did like that
I
character.
spoke to the Emperor 2 days ago.
That's the line everybody drops. You know, me and the Emperor, we talked about those shop workers. But okay, that's good to know because I did like that character and it was a smoke screen. Obviously, didn't make out for him. But when that gets set up later on, when Bix is alone and that guy comes back, and they're having him attack her, and they do a moment where she falls on the table and he goes behind her, but he's not like it's clearly to me, it's like they're implying that he's trying to sexually assault her, but he's not like spreading her legs. He's not unbuckling. It's just like, hey, this is as far as we're going to go. And you can do the subtext into that, right? Like it's very obvious subtext, but still they're not going to go that far. Like the thing about Watchmen, when the comedian, like clearly like he's taking her clothes off. They didn't go like that. But then later on, she beats the shit out of him with the wrench. That fucking Empire guy in the car, you just hear, oh! And he's like, at any point, if I hear one yell like that, I'm going to just like, oh! And it keeps going. It's like, you all right, dude? Like it's fine. But then he just walks out, dies, and he pulls a gun. And when she says he was trying to rape me, I was like, holy shit! Not even
Yeah.
like he was attacking me. He was gonna hurt me. The fact that she actually said rape. That's just why I guarantee you, people like a Filoni that like who like are with George. Like maybe George
Yeah.
wouldn't like that. So Filoni's like, yeah, you can't be saying that in Star Wars. But like I was surprised they used that word. I'm not saying it's a negative. I just could not believe. That's where I was like, wow, they have leveled up in a way, not as far as like that makes them cool, just saying as far as like this, that's as adult
Yeah.
to me as you can get, as because like murder happens all the time in Star Wars, right? A sexual assault, if you would have told like the people watching Star Wars in the 80s, like, hey, at some point they're doing a TV show and it's gonna have like a rape attempt, it's like, and they're gonna talk, but it's like, that's fucking crazy. So kudos to them. I'm surprised they went that far, but that's how just heavy this show is, and everything with the Bix character I'm enjoying. I love the actress in the role, and I liked that planet was great, all the shots. So yeah, everything here with the characters was just aces for me. Probably my second favorite story out of the bunch if I was ranking them. So
You know what this whole like whatever they're at, whatever planet they're on, just reminded me of is actually Rebel Moon.
it did with the grains and everything.
Yeah, the grains and the like the inspection, like just
Just
you know,
looked a little
like the
better
Empire's-
too, you know?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Shouts out to kill her, do it.
Do it, kill her.
No, I mean, because what episode did this happen? Was this the third episode?
This is
The
3.
attack, yeah, it was 3.
So I
yeah.
think it was probably episode 1, honestly. But just as I'm watching it, I'm like, man, this whole show just feels so different than every other Disney, especially Disney Plus Star Wars project, but like pretty much just all these Star Wars projects, because it feels more mature. It's not It's not like only for adults, it seems, but it's just like I don't think kids would be interested in this. And
Yes,
then in
it's too
episode 3,
talky. Yeah.
it gets to that, and I'm like, man, like they are really insinuating here. This is going to be like an attempted rape sequence, and I'm like, that is just so like dark for a Star Wars universe. I'm liking it because it's more on the mature side. It's a different, just side of Star Wars that we've never seen before, and I just feel like it's a realistic fucked up thing that happens. So like to not like sugarcoat it, like, oh yeah, he was just trying to take our credits, you know, like just some fucking childish type thing that we probably would have gotten in the past. It's a very real sequence, and I'm like, man, that is a really well done scene that they just implied it. And then as you said, Travis, like she actually said the word, he tried to rape me. I'm like, holy fuck, we're doing it, people. We're actually evolving in Star Wars. We're making it feel like Star Wars, but we're
again,
growing up with it.
You could never put that in a $200 million Star Wars movie.
No,
this
definitely.
storyline. You could not have Rey be like, Kylo Ren tried to rape me, and be like, all the kids with their little buckets and lightsabers, you know.
And
that's where, you know.
I understand why you wouldn't have that in a $200 million budget film. I don't think I would want that because that's for kids and family and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and that's
like
where you
imagine
can have
next
that
year we're
side of
watching
Star
Mandalorian
Wars.
Grogu, and Mando just drops that. You know, like,
Try to rape me.
Yeah, gonna change the mood big time with Grogu. So,
but like you know, a TV series, this is the perfect time to have a different side of it, a more darker side. It's something that I probably would have expected Acolyte to be more on, like this level of maturity. I'm not saying there has to be attempted
and we
rapes
did
in
not
there,
get
but
that
just,
at all.
Just
with
dark
Acolyte.
things like some fucking brutal murders or something. Like let's get it going. Let's mature up. Like we can handle it, people. So yeah, I think everything in this planet sequence was just fantastic. Rest in peace, Brasso, for a character that I really didn't care that much about, like in the greater scheme of just Star Wars, and just not very memorable for me. Like when the season started, like when I watched my recap video, I don't think that guy appeared in a single minute of my recap video that I watched before season 1.
And the one I watched was like,
I watched
and
a
he got
quick
away
one.
with
I watched like a 7-minute one because I didn't have time.
I watched a 2-minute one, but it didn't give me enough on Mon Mothma because I won more on that. So I watched then a 17-minute one that I skimmed through because I there's stuff I realized, but then it was like, oh, and he saved his friends, and he was a part of like the friends like highlight reel of the people he had saved. It was like her, him, the robot, and I was like, oh, the robot was in season 1. So yeah, that's all same thing. And many recaps did not have that character. So
yeah, so for a character that I completely did not remember at all, I was like pretty much in tears, like when Cassian found him, and just I think it's mostly just Diego Luna just like selling the scene so much more. I'm just thinking about like all of these things that Cassian Andor has specifically had to sacrifice like on this rebellion journey that he didn't even want to join, and now he's just getting thrown in the mix with it, and to just see his like basically family member there just dying and knowing that he can't even burn him. He's not gonna bury him because they don't do that in this universe.
Yeah, they can't
even burn him. Can't even bring his body with him. Like can't even really have a moment. Like they just got to get the fuck out of there. And to just like it was such a heavy scene, really really quick but really really effective. So I thought it was really cool, and just like the grain mills like floating or whatever they had, like just suspended grain silos. It's like, yeah, this looks like Earth, but it's different because it's, you know, we don't have floating grain silos like these guys do. So I love it. The show's fucking great, and that was just another part that's great about it.
Mr. Field.
Yeah, everything that Bix has gone through, it's crazy up to this point where she's dealing with this now after the fact of having to put those headphones on and being tortured for hours, listening to the screams of like annihilated species that the Empire has wiped out. Like, fuck.
I hear the most annoying sound in the world. that was her headphones, the Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, she's gone through so much crazy shit. So yeah, just her being in this position now where she's dealing with this shit is just brutal. But the actress is phenomenal. She just totally sells this role of PTSD and everything. It's crazy. So I think that it's just something that's very new for Star Wars. I mean, you're right. You're not going to see something like that in a movie where they are talking about rape, because that's little kids and all that kind of stuff there.
Not
and whatnot.
popcorn buckets of that movie, you know.
No, sir, you are not. So
could you imagine? And I can probably already see hit pieces already in the coming weeks, but I just feel like it's like kids shouldn't be watching this in general because I just feel like it wouldn't be entertaining. But you know, I guarantee you, I can see lots of people not liking that, because I think for some people that's a tough thing, where Star Wars is a world of escapism, right? And you bring in sexual assault, that brings it to a different degree.
Yeah.
Not saying it's good or bad. That's up for the user to decide. For
Yep.
me, it's fine, but it's like, and same thing too. If you're somebody that's suffered that or knows, and I do know people that suffer that, so it's not like I guess I think it might impact you more if it's happened. If you're watching Star Wars, that might not be the place where you want that condition, right? You're thinking of like an A24 movie or some like, HBO show. You just watch
Yeah.
Andor, even with it being darker, you still watch it for like, we're taking down space terrorists, right? We're now it's talking about that. It's like I'm just in general shocked that it got through, in my opinion. Not saying good or bad, just like I'm surprised that they saw that, and Lucasfilm was like, you can keep like the attack, but you can't have her
Yeah.
say that, because the scene could play out the exact same way, right? If you cut her that line, but the fact they let it in there was, it definitely ballsy in a way where we've talked about, like I said, good or bad, that can be decided for the user, in an era where Star Wars and Disney has not really been that like bold as far as choices, right? They've not
Yeah.
taken many swings. They've played it very safe and stuff. So it's odd to see, So
They had some cojones. It was weird
Yeah.
to see with my Disney Plus watermark on the bottom right corner of my screen. It was
Yeah.
like, man, this is Disney. Let's go.
yeah. Michael has a little robot. He's like the Star Wars Wally. Yeah, I like him too. I hope.
B2,
I don't
B2
think he
emo.
made it on the adventure though, right? Did he make it on the ship? I don't think
No,
so.
he's on the planet. He's chilling with
Fuck, man.
was that
Brasso's
like
girl.
Brasso's girlfriend or something? Yeah, I didn't really think about
That's all
that.
that's
She's
left.
gonna be sad.
You're not taking me.
Yeah.
Because when the remaining stormtroopers look at him as like he was someone bad, right? Like he's feeding information. So when they, isn't his girlfriend, wife, whatever?
I don't think that's what it was though. Like I think when
Why
he
was
was
he-
ratted out, it's just he's
Yeah.
an illegal, and they're like, okay, we got to arrest illegals. So that's
Yeah.
what we're doing. Like it's not like
Okay.
this guy is a rebellion and because.
Is
Does
his
he even
lady
really
illegal?
know that much about the rebellion right now? Like, isn't it kind of a spook story? Like,
Yeah,
Pedro
so-
was under some flack from that last season.
Yeah, they were looking into. They're trying to find Luthen, but they just think Luthen's like
Axis.
Axis is like I watched that recap too.
Yeah.
I think they're just like a specific like, okay, there's a group of people, but like that girlfriend of his, is she an illegal or is she from the
No,
planet?
I think she was local because.
Okay.
Yeah. But
I feel like she would have fled if she was
Yeah.
illegal. She
Tough
would've-
day for her though. Everyone's gone, and I guess she's got the robot. So
everyone's gone, but I think that that's where it's going to end. I think the casting has now taken the full attention away. Like Brasso's body is still laying there, so they're probably just going to see him and think, "Oh no, he just got shot in the crossfire because this random TIE fighter showed up and just took out a silo, blew up like a small convoy of our troops, and just fucked
that's our
off."
TIE fighter.
Yeah.
It was not. It was not.
Am I?
Yeah, Andor. Yeah. Yeah.
Sweet ship too. Is that like a brand new design thing? Is that like something that's been known in the Star Wars universe? We have prototype TIE because it didn't look like at first. I just thought it was this is just the TIE fighter that we remember seeing from the original Star Wars, but this is just an early version of it. But when he's on that planet, like you get like kind of like a rear view of it, and it looked like a totally different shape. I'm not a big Starship. I like them, but I don't know all the part numbers like Taylor Field does. So I was gonna ask the expert.
Yes, because they changed up its origin a little bit. It was a TIE Avenger, so it did exist beforehand. And then they switched out its origin stories. But yeah, there's a few cool TIEs. Like I said, the other TIE fighter that we saw in this episode, which I don't know what the name is, but it looked like what the Inquisitors would fly in Star Wars Rebels, actually, if I'm being specific. But I don't think that's the same one. But that was a fancy prototype lap.
That was pretty sweet. I like when he walks in. He's like, "What the like? What do I even do?" And then the seat just kind of unfolds. Just I don't know, look all spick and span and fancy, and just looked fucking hard to drive, unintuitive. But
Yeah.
Cassie was kind of figuring it out. I when he shows up to the planet initially, and like his auto lock on thing, just kind of like, is that like a Star Destroyer way off in the distance? It looked
Yeah.
way too small for it. Is it actually?
It was a Star Destroyer.
Because it
yeah.
locked on, I'm like, he's gonna fucking shoot at that thing. He's just gonna. This is the prototype. It's like a mini Death Star on that thing. He blew open the bay door. Let's see what he can do to this thing. And then he just shoots down. I'm like, okay, that's probably a smarter idea.
He's like fucking Poe. It's a dreadnought. He's gonna take down the Star Destroyer by himself. So
Oh shoot. What was I gonna say?
I don't remember.
Shit. Oh my god.
Talking TIE fighters, advanced fighters, the tech.
Oh yes, I got it. The one rocket trooper that was just sitting there. Fuck the balls on that
He
guy.
did not move. He
No.
was cemented in place like a turret, and he was just reloading. Like, oh yeah, I'll fucking stare you down, TIE fighter. I respect that guy. He had like a cool little like fur coat thing too. I like
Yeah,
just the design of him.
the last time we saw those guys were in Solo on the train heist sequence. Same armor and everything like that.
Best part about that movie, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that before. Anything else for? Let me check my notes, but I think I got everything.
I just shout out Diego Luna, just tremendous acting when I think it's when he gets off the planet after dealing with the rebels, gets back on his TIE fighter, and he gets a hold of whatever her name is, Luthen's like assistant lady, and he's just like going off on like he's just so like just heated of like, that is not the TIE fighter that I was trained to do, and like it's just like shit is not going well. He fucking got detoured on this planet that he almost died like multiple times, and he's just fucking stressed out. Nothing's going right. The person I was supposed to meet, that's supposed to be flying this, isn't the right person.
Yeah.
This is nothing of what he said, because he's a tremendous actor. The writing was better than what I'm doing right now, but it's just like, man, I believe him. I believe that he is going through this right now and stressed, and just great performance. And he's not even acting off of someone. He's just talking into like a phone that probably no one is even there for. So
Yeah.
he's tremendous. I loved his suit too, his little fighter jacket. I
Yeah,
like that he
he's
kept that
slick.
for a while.
Yeah.
At the wedding, a little girl had, I don't know what they're called, but it's like a little, you hold it on like a stick with some strings coming down. It's usually
Oh, a
like
marionette.
A marionette, but it was
I
like
saw that too.
It was like an AT-AT or something. I just thought it was-
ATST.
Yeah, ATST. I'm like, that is so fucking cool, man. Like, you know, like it's taken again, like something that we've seen. I didn't know what it was called, but I can identify it. But they got just like, yeah, they would probably have Imperial
Well, I was
just.
gonna say in Rogue One, didn't they have the stormtrooper dolls? Right.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay, didn't remember that. So
Makes sense with the kind of Gilroy Rogue One like cut of the universe. So
yeah,
yeah,
just cool.
Yeah.
Just filling in
good
stuff.
world
I guess.
building. Yeah.
And then the great religious statue thing that Davos offered, is that like, Taylor? Is that some deep knowledge lore thing that we?
I do
know
not
about?
know Chandrilan history, so that's yeah.
Yeah,
He bought
it. Was
it.
cool
bought-
object.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he bought it off of Palpatine. He was telling people at the wedding.
Palpatine's
Yeah.
inside. He's
You know where I
listening
got
to
Yeah,
the
he's
sounds in
inside
there.
the
He's like,
statue.
I'm gonna figure out the rebels.
Yeah. Where's my friend Tay? He owes me some money.
I love the on that note of Chandrila, I love all of their outfits. Like every dress Mon Mothma was rocking, like
Oh yeah.
every
Oh, yeah.
new scene was a different outfit, and like their clothes are super cool.
Yeah, the little braid thing. How it's like, I'm imagine, because all the little girls had braids. I can't remember this, but I guess when she's engaged, she cuts off one of them, gets married, cuts off the other one.
What's happened in the universe? You only lose your braids one way, two ways: get married or become a Jedi Knight.
I was just gonna say, yeah, that's the Jedi Knight ritual.
Yeah, it
Slice
is,
that
yeah.
braid off.
So, because you get married to the Force. So.
Yeah. And then we already talked about the scene, but just want to shout out the camera work too on that opening sequence when Mon is like welcoming people, and they're like, "Who is that?" Taylor thought it was Sheev, but the camera's just like on her the whole sequence, and I love it because like, shouts out to Genevieve, just tremendous actress. She's like, "Who's here?" and she's all concerned, like she just shows like that dread on her face, and then like quicking up the pace, walking by, and then she just sees someone that it's like another politician. It's like, "Hi, how's it going?" And like she just just instantly switches and then goes back. It happened a couple times too when Tay would just come over and like, "I'm not getting my money. Where's my fucking money?" You know,
He's fucking drunk over here.
everyone's
Oh,
benefiting but me.
big
What the fuck is
wedding.
going on? Yeah, being a piece of shit, and she's
My
just
fucking
like,
money, Danny.
she's just devastated
Yeah.
and just trying to keep a good face to not like make a scene at this wedding because she has to act, but.
Which
Just
on
tremendous.
I'm not the on Tay's side, but at least to defend him a little bit. If this is the guy that's helping you kind of illegally run money, if he's been trying to contact you, I would probably make that a priority to talk to him like ASAP, you know, because she's like, "You should have told me sooner." He's like, "Well, I tried." So like that is a bit on Mom. Be like, "What are you doing here?" I get it because she's busy, so much going on, the daughter stuff, but it's like if that person's in charge of funds for the rebellion helping you out, it's like, yeah, you definitely take the call immediately because you don't know what that could be, right? What if it's like they got you fucking they found
Is
they
that
found
his
out
like
you-
main role?
I thought it was because he's a banker or something like that, and he set up the
He
meeting.
was money
between-
laundering.
Yeah, he set up the meeting between the husband or the father of the groom because he's like he has some criminal
Davos.
dealings. Yeah,
Right.
he
Okay,
has
yeah,
some
yeah.
underworld stuff, and that's why she didn't want to. They agreed to it, but he kind of said that the only way he'd do it is if their kids met, and just insinuated that they wanted to get married, which they did. So that's why he's a part of that, and that's why he said that he's losing some money. I don't know if they're taking it or he just can't transport it, because he said like helping the rebellion has put eyes on him. So again, I get mom, but yeah, I feel like that's a guy you should talk to right away who's controlling your money, because she can't do that, because that's what happened where for some reason her idiot husband got them somehow linked up with the empire, and that's how all their money was being watched. So before, when she was on her own being able just to send the money out and help the rebellion, she couldn't do that anymore because the empire had eyes on like her
But
bank accounts and everything. So she had to do it like a different way, and that's why it's like a charity, you know.
Well, it somehow worked out though with him doing that, because it's like, oh, if people are looking at her books, this is why she has no money, is because her fucking husband just has a gambling issue. So they're not like, oh, it's a rebellion tie, like she's funneling her money in this avenue.
Yeah, but now
That's
she
what my
can't.
recap video told me. So
But
shouts out
without
to,
Tay though, she can't funnel that money though, right? Because he's the one doing that. So when he's like, "Hey, I'll still do it, but I'm gonna need more," like he's just blackmailing her. We don't, and he could be truthful, right? Of like, bad investments, whatever, or
He
he's
lost
just being
his
a
woman.
dick. Yeah, or he's just being a dick and does want more money. But yeah,
I think
he
he's
is.
being greedy.
But that's
'Cause
where
he-
I'm curious if they take him out. How does that work for Mon Mothma then, and Luthen?
What do you mean?
So if they take Tay out, right?
I thought
And
they're
he's-
funded now by Davos, so they're not even worried about that.
They kind of are, but I thought Tay still had to be involved as a launderer. Like he's a banker, so I thought he still had to do something. I guess I
I thought he
wrong,
was still
but-
involved. I thought.
Yeah, I thought that's was an issue, and maybe you're right. Maybe it's just hey, Tay's dead and you move on. But because like, why? What right does he have to ask her for any money then? If he's done his job and he's cleared, she's just like, well, like, it's not my fault you're getting
Yeah.
your eyes on you, right? So
I think it was just like the way that the conversation played out of like, oh, now your money issues are gone, or like they're smoothed
Yeah.
over. Everyone seems to be doing
True,
okay now
yeah.
except me. It's just like, oh, he's just bitter now because he's made some bad dealings on his own finance, not because of the. It's not like he just spent all his money on the rebels.
Yeah.
He's like, because of certain rebellion activities, they're messing up my investments. It's like, oh, this guy
Yeah.
is just a fucking sleazeball.
and true, he can just be wanting the money because he's just a cog in the machine, and they don't want him to speak, right? Which Luthen said that, like, oh, you think he'll say that? So that's true. Maybe he did clean his hands of it, walked away. He wants more money, and Luthen could just kill him because, well, that's done, and we just won't want him to talk. And Luthen's completely right to do that. So
Yeah. Yeah. As soon as he approaches Mon and he's just like, I don't know, he's acting drunk, probably supposed to be in the scene. And he just keeps saying these things. I'm like, it's over for this guy. Luthen's not gonna
each
fucking let
scene,
this guy
he's
like
just
leave
digging
the party.
it deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
He's ruined it. Mon's already like on the fucking rocks with his
He-
wedding, and he's just like, I know this is not a great time. It's just
He reminded me of the guy that's trying to blackmail Bruce Wayne in Dark Knight.
Yeah.
It's like,
I want $5 million a year for the rest of my life, or I don't say anything.
great.
You want to blackmail a man that goes out every night and beats vigilantes to a pulp with his bare hands? Good luck.
That's your Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, it's all
Could
right.
do some work.
That's my first time I ever did it, so I'm pretty happy with it. But
So every episode drop now is a threefer.
it's all three, yeah.
Okay,
So we got 3 more weeks of threes.
that's sad. It's gonna happen too quick.
It is. It's going to be a lot to break down, but we'll be here. Anything last? Throw it.
Throw
I
my
don't think so.
coins.
Yeah, well, we'll be back next week. Not sure what air we'll be covering, because I know there's one air when he meets K2S, so I'm not sure if that's going to be the 3rd or the 4th set. I feel like that could be maybe the 4th, because that's supposed to lead up to Rogue One, but we got lots of fun stuff coming. This was a fun conversation, boys. Can't wait to see what else we get to. And yeah,
Back. Star
Hope-
Wars is good.
yeah, we're back. Yeah, hopefully the quality stays this way. I hope that I never have to see Andy Serkis, because I don't want that answered. And yeah, until then, it won't be boring. May the Force be with you.
Always.